so happy to be sitting here filming for you guys. I've been out of town so much in the past couple months between the holidays, and I was in 2 out-of-town weddings. It just has been kind of crazy around here, so I'm just excited to be back in my routine and hopefully film more consistently for you guys. Thank you for being patient. But today I wanted to do my eyebrow routine for you guys because a lot of you have been requesting it lately. And my eyebrow routine is actually very simple. So I decided to pair it with a kind of just get ready with me / chit chat / catch up with me, watch me be a weirdo on camera. So if you are not interested in seeing me talk and do my makeup while talking, you can always just skip to the part where I do my eyebrows. But if you're game for hanging out with me for a couple minutes, then just keep watching. Alright, so for face primers today, I'm going to be starting off with the Lorac POREfection Mattifying Face Primer. And this is what it looks like. And I would say out of like 1 being horrible, 10 being amazing, I would rate this primer at maybe like a 6 or a 7. This primer hasn't really blown me away, to be honest. However, I keep using it because it is really good for smoothing out your pores and if you have any uneven texture. The only reason why I didn't give it a very high rating is because this says that it's mattifying, and don't buy it for the purpose of being mattifying. Buy this if you more have like combination to dry skin, because honestly this does not keep me matte. I pair this with the foundation I'm going to be using today because that is very mattifying. So if I'm using it with a mattifying foundation, I can usually get away with it, but I would never use this with like a dewy foundation. I would use a mattifying primer with that. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that, just in case you were wondering. I'm using this one today because I wanted to really make sure I fill in my pores. And I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but whenever I go on an airplane or traveling in general, I just always tend to get more acne. Like, I swear, if I go on an airplane, I will get a zit. I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that way, but I just really feel like it plays a toll on my skin. And I've kind of been living on an airplane for the last couple months, so makes sense why my skin might be freaking out a little bit. But anyways, I'm just concentrating it on my chin because I just have a couple of blemishes there. Nothing major, but I just like to make sure I make it super smooth so the foundation can go on really well. Next, I'm going to be going in with the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Wear Hydrating Foundation. And this foundation has been really great. I heard a lot of really good things about it for oily skin, which kind of confused me because it says the word hydrating in it, and usually as an oily person, as soon as I hear the word hydrating, I'm like, nope, don't put that anywhere near my face, like, bye, because I mean, it will just make me so oily. Like, if it's for someone with dry skin, like, you can forget about it. It's not going to work for me. So I was just surprised to hear that it was really mattifying, but I have been seeing a lot of oily vloggers out there raving about this, and so I got curious and I decided I needed to check it out. So I did, and I'm very happy that I did. I think it might be one of my favorite foundations at the moment. And it retails for, I believe, around $40, which isn't cheap, but you don't really need a ton. Like, this is for sure going to cover my entire face. So I just take this and I like to put small dots all over, not a lot of product on each dot. I usually like to do my first half of my face and then I'll move on to the second. And I'm just going to take my damp beauty blender and I'm just going to lightly dab that all over my face. So speaking of airplanes, the funniest thing happened. Daniel and I were in the plane and we were on our way back from Missouri because that's where the wedding was. It was one of my best friends from high school who got married, and we were in the plane and we have those hydro flasks and they come with like a little like straw kind of thing and a top on it, and I guess the air pressure had like completely made my water bottle like super, what's the word for it? Have a lot of air pressure in it. And so I went to take a drink of my water, and it literally shot out so hard, like right in my face. And of course, Daniel, being a loving boyfriend, was like dying laughing at me, and I was just like so in shock. We were both pretty much dying laughing, but I mean, it was ridiculous. Like, it literally just like shot up like a water fountain into my face. I have never experienced anything like it. Like, I just opened the Hydro Flask and it just like literally shot me in the forehead. And it's one of those things where literally you couldn't help but laugh. Like, honestly, when embarrassing stuff like that happens, like, I've kind of come to a point in my life where nothing really phases me because I do weird, annoying stuff all the time. And so it didn't even faze me. I mean, the woman next to me, I don't even know if she like noticed what had happened, but I feel like anyone who sits next to me and Daniel in any situation is kind of up for a show, because I feel like we always are kind of doing something like weird or immature or laughing when we shouldn't be. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty funny. I don't think he's over it yet. Like, I think he might still be laughing about it. He couldn't handle it. But yeah, that was really funny. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, so the wedding that I was in, I was actually called a groom's lady, and he had like his now wife, wow, it's so crazy, his now wife, she had bridesmaids on her side, obviously, but then he had like several guys, and then me and my two other girlfriends from high school were actually on his side, so we were technically groom's ladies. So he had us wearing black dresses, and the guys had black suits on. It was like super cool, and what it made me realize was I've been a bridesmaid a lot, and being a groomsman is really where it's at. Like, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to worry about anything. You just like get dressed and show up, and I had the best time. And anyways, more of the story is I hope it's not my last time being a groom's lady, because it was pretty legit. So as you can see, I just put one layer of that foundation on, and I got a lot of coverage out of it. That was just one really thin layer, so you can definitely build that up to be really full coverage. So now I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape, and the thing I love about this concealer is that it is probably the most pigmented concealer I've ever used. You only need like a dot under your eyes. Again, it's not cheap, but I love the doe foot applicator and how big it is. I just think that the packaging of this is super smart, and I'm just in love with this product all around. So we're just going to put like a dot. Like, this stuff is no joke. You do not want to get too much of this. I like was really heavy-handed the first time I used it, and I just think I looked way too white underneath my eyes. It just looked kind of obnoxious. I know some people like love that look, and I do too, but like even I was like, oh gosh. So just remember to use a light hand with this stuff, because it's like really pigmented. So I like to use a damp beauty blender. I think that it just like blends it out really well. And then definitely try and get it as close up to your lash line as possible. It always looks really weird when people put concealer on and they don't blend it all the way up, because obviously that just looks very wrong. I also have a cold, so if I sound super nasally or more nasally than usual, that is why. Daniel got a cold, and then I got a cold. Imagine that. How'd that happen, Daniel? But yeah, he like never gets sick, and one night we were at my parents' house, and he came in and he like woke me up, and he was like, Han, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, who's saying that? And I like look up, and he's over there, and I'm just like, what do you need? And he's like, I think I'm dying. And I was like, what's wrong? And he's like, my throat hurts, and I feel hot, and I feel cold, and everything hurts. And I was just like, so you have a cold and you probably have a fever. And he was like, yeah. So I went and I got him some medicine from the medicine cabinet and like some stuff to bring his fever down. And I just like couldn't get over what a big baby he was. Like, this is why God made it so that women have babies, because like every guy I know is such a baby when they get a cold. Like, I just am in disbelief every time I like encounter a guy that's sick. I'm just like, a girl would never act this dramatic. Like, I know girls are dramatic a lot, but like so many times I just see guys that like cannot handle the common cold, and I'm just like, can we like get with it, because this is ridiculous. And anyways, he is just so wonderful in so many areas, but learned about a weakness for Daniel. He does not know how to handle being sick. So now to set our under eyes, I have been loving this NYX HD finishing powder, and it just comes in a little pan like this, and I've actually already hit pan because I use it like all the time. And I've heard really good things about this. I've heard that this one's better than the loose HD powder by them. I haven't tried the HD loose powder, so I really can't confirm that that's true. However, I have tried this pressed one, obviously, and I'm very impressed by it. I just think that it's especially good if you don't have time to do baking. It really gets the eye set and ready to go. This has really helped prolong my foundation. I put it all over my face, and I just love it because if you need a touch-up, this is so easy to carry in your purse, and it's not messy because it's not like a bunch of loose powder. I also like to put this kind of to prep my eyelash, or my, whatever they're called, my eyelids for eyeshadow. Next, I'm going to take my Real Techniques big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to set the rest of my face with that same powder. So next I'm going to go in with my NYX matte bronzer, and I haven't used this shade in a while, but I actually just put self-tanner on today, so I feel like I can handle it because normally it's a little too dark for me in the winter time. But I'm feeling a little bronze, so we're going in. Let's see. Yeah. Just be really light-handed with this product because I love the color of it, but it's just really pigmented. So it's a lot easier to add than take off. She bronze. Next I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. blush palette, and this one is super pretty. It just has some really good mauve colors, and it has a really crazy pink color and then a brown color. And I'm going to go in with the lightest crazy pink color. I don't know why I called it crazy. It's not that crazy. It's just like lighter, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if you guys ever watch movies that like really inspire your makeup all of a sudden. Like you watch it and you're just like, I want to look like her. I want to be her. So during the holidays, I always watch While You Were Sleeping with Sandra Bullock, and that movie is for sure one of my absolute favorite Christmas movies. And in that movie, she just has like the best blush like on the apples of her cheeks, and I just think that it's so cute. And every time I watch that movie, I go through like a major blush phase because I just kind of want to look like her. And I don't know if that happens to anyone, but I just do that a lot. So maybe I'm just like a poser. Who knows? I can't believe I just said the word poser. Maybe I'm just a poser. Like, oh gosh. I don't even know how I have friends sometimes. But yeah, so I just like pretty much put a little bit too much blush on, and then I blend it out. I usually put a little too much on purpose because I like the look of it once I blend it out. And if you don't put enough on, you won't be able to see it after. So there you go. Alright, so next I am going to go in with my Becca highlighter, and this one is in the color Champagne Pop. And as you guys know probably, Jaclyn Hill, who is like kind of the queen of YouTube, she created this color, and it is just so beautiful. I mean, if you're looking for a good highlighter, this one, you really can't go wrong. I'm going to take my Morphe fan brush and I'm just going to lightly dust it in this. And then I'm just going to go over the tops of my cheekbones. Yeah, this stuff is just so pretty. She also has one that's in, or Becca has one in the color, what's it called? It's called Pearl, I believe. Been really eyeing that one. I'd like to give that one a try. It's a little more of like a cool toned, more of like a white highlighter. I feel like it could be really pretty for this winter season. So I did that on my cheeks. And then I just like to take just barely some on the tip of my nose and down the bridge of my nose, and then just a little bit over my Cupid's bow. So now it's time for brows, and I just purchased this Precisely My Brow Pencil by Benefit, and this is super old news, like everybody knows about this pencil, but I was super late to the party on this. I kind of had convinced myself that high-end eyebrow pencils weren't worth it because there's so many drugstore versions. And then I finally bit the bullet and I tested this out in the store, and one of the Benefit girls put this on me and I was like, I was wrong. So this pencil is super worth it. Like, I think it's $24. That sounds ridiculous for an eyebrow pencil. It's worth it. Like, it's literally worth it. It looks so natural. The tip of it is like so fine, and you can just draw on your eyebrows like so easily. Like, this is just, it's awesome. Oh, there we go. Like, forgot how to use it. I was like, and it's not working. No, it's the top part. Anyways, I recently went blonder, so ever since then I've been having a hard time with doing everyday activities. So first thing that I do is I use the portion of the pencil that you just like brush out your eyebrows, and this way I just have all the hairs going kind of upwards and then over. And then what I like to do is I take the pencil and I just barely have it above the plastic so that it won't break, and I just start to draw. I'll get closer so you guys can see. I start to just draw the hairs on, and I just make little strokes. And I think the main thing is just to be patient. You don't want to just like draw it on like super thick. And then once you get to the tail, be very light-handed, especially if you don't have a strong tail of your brow. And I'm just filling in the areas of my brows that are just like a little more sparse. I'm very lucky because I have pretty like defined brows already, and they're not very blonde, but I do have patches. So this pencil is amazing if you just want to make the whole brow look more defined. I don't really do any on this area. I pretty much start from the middle and then just barely brush strokes out. And by the way, this is in the color, where are you, color? What the heck? What color is this? I don't know what color this is, guys. I literally can't find it. It says the number 3 on it. Is that the color? I don't know. But it's like light brown. And they have some for blondes. So I would say if you have really light hair, like honestly, I should probably be using a different color. But I just like my brows dark, and that's about it. I'm gonna take the end of this and I'm just gonna brush it out. And there we go. And then depending on, you know, what I'm doing that day, maybe I just want to keep it simple. A lot of times I'll just do this and that is sufficient. Like, I can just put a little wax pencil on it, brush it through, my hairs will stay in place. But if I'm really trying to like go for it, then I will take one of my brow mascaras and I will just like lightly go over it, and that kind of helps get the hairs kind of more up and a little more editorial. And my two favorites right now are by, well, I also really like the Benefit one, but like I said, that one is awesome. It's probably worth the money. But there are two dupes that I found that I can totally get away with and not spend the extra money on that. And I like the Essence Make Me Brow. And this is in the color, Chocolate. I believe. Why am I having such a hard time like finding anything on the, oh no, these are in soft brownie brows. And then the NYX one is in chocolate, and that one is called NYX Tinted Brow Mascara. I like both of them, but this one is a little dark for me right now, so I've been using this one, the soft brownie brows. And what I'll do is, this one looks exactly like the Benefit one. Like, this is such a close dupe. I just like barely run it through the hairs at the top of my eyebrow, and then I go to the middle, and then I just barely put it on the tail. And that just adds like a little more of pigment, and it also kind of acts as a little bit of like a gel for your eyebrows. So you can see the difference between the one that I did and the one that I didn't do. It's a pretty big difference. Alright, so now I have both my brows done, and we are going to hop right into shadow. And I'm going to be using the Morphe 350M palette, and this is my favorite matte palette. It just has a lot of really pigmented shades, and I don't know, it's just my favorite. Can't stop using it. Alright, so first thing is I'm going to be taking this lightest color, and I am just going to be evening out my eyelids and just making sure that none of my veins are showing through. This is important. It just helps like make a really good canvas for everything. Alright, so then I am going to take this kind of light, I don't know, I want to call it like, oh, it's a little darker than camel. It's like a camel. No, maybe it is a camel. I don't know. I'm taking this color, and I am going to put this, instead of contouring, I'm actually putting this on my lid, and I'm keeping it all below where I would contour, if that makes sense. So I'm just trying to have this stay on my lid and kind of making a little bit of like a dome with it. And then I'm going to do that to the other eye. So then I'm just going to go in, and I'm going to very lightly take this darker shade right here, that just like a normal, just like literally like brown, like nothing special about it. And I'm just going to barely put that over that, just to darken it just barely. That. And then I'm just going to go in, and I am going to blend that out just slightly so that it's not too harsh of a line, but we don't want it to go all the way up to the eyebrows. Next, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Prisms palette, and I've used this one before. I use this for my winter frosted eye look, and I am going to take this color right here. It's kind of like a, I would say it's sort of a rose gold color, and I'm just going to pack that on exactly where I put the other shadow, and this is just going to give it a very gold shimmery effect. I've been really liking putting pigmented colors right on the eyelid and then just putting sparkles over top of it. I just think it adds such a pretty look to the eye, and it's just different than my everyday contour eye that I had been doing, and it just looks really good on a lot of different eye shapes as well. Alright, now to add a little bit of dimension, I'm just going to take this more yellow gold color over here, and I'm going to just put that on the exact center of the eyelid. This will just add even more dimension. And next, I am going to take the lightest shade in this palette, which is pretty much a white color, and I'm just going to bounce that like right on the center of the eyelid. This is kind of creating a little bit of like a halo effect. And then again, I am just going to lightly blend out a little bit more, just to make sure that that line is not harsh. So next, I'm going to be taking my Champagne Pop again, and I am just going to put that on the brow bone. That just like adds so much to any look. Like, I used to not know about highlighter, and I don't know what I was doing with my life. I'm so glad that that came in to play with makeup because it makes all the difference. And then I'm just going to barely put this in my tear duct area. Now I'm going to go in with my Jordana easyliner, and this is in the color Smokey. Whenever I use this eyeliner, it just reminds me of my mom because she is the one that showed me these, and they are so cheap. They're like from Walgreens, and I don't know why. I just feel very nostalgic when I use them. Probably because I used them all of high school, but they just make me think of her because she kind of taught me my first steps of makeup. My mom actually originally, well, she's had so many different kinds of jobs, but she was a makeup artist there for a while. She like worked at a counter, I think in Macy's, and she always was so good about like teaching us how to do our makeup and just helping us kind of semi-avoid some of the big mistakes that people make. I mean, obviously, if you've seen my how I did my makeup in high school video, she couldn't save me from that phase because, I mean, I was gonna do whatever I wanted, but for the most part, she really helped me out. All right, so now I'm just going to take this smudging brush and I'm just gonna go over my liner and I'm just going to barely smudge that out just so it's not too harsh. And now I'm gonna go in with that same brown color that we used on my eyelid. I think it was the second color we used. It was just that normal brown color, and I am going to just barely smudge that underneath my eye. I'm just going to curl my lashes. I'm gonna go in with my Stila Huge Mascara. What else is new? I don't think I'm ever gonna stop using this mascara. They better not discontinue it. So help me. Now I'm gonna go in with my NYX lipstick in the color LALA. And this is just a really pretty like purpley mauve color. And these are super moisturizing. So much for watching. I had so much fun filming this video. Thank you for bearing with me. I didn't really have a game plan for it. All I knew is that I just missed you guys and I wanted to create a look. I wanted to show you how I did my eyebrows and I just wanted to talk to you. So sorry if I can be kind of long-winded at times, but it just is what it is. So thanks for watching. Another thing I wanted to just quickly mention was just how thankful I am for the people who have been so supportive of my channel. I have just been receiving the nicest comments and messages on my Instagram and on YouTube, and from the bottom of my heart, just thank you so much for being supportive and for welcoming me into this community. It was really nerve-wracking for me to put myself out there and start this channel, and 2016 was a huge hurdle for me just to kind of get up the courage and stop caring what people thought and just go ahead and do it. And so for 2017, I just want to keep on pushing forward and keep on producing good content for you guys and just pursuing this passion. And I just want to thank you guys because I went above my goal for 2016, which is to reach 100 subscribers on YouTube. I'm way over that goal now, and it's all thanks to you guys. So thank you so much for your support, and I just can't express how thankful I am for the people who watch my video, the people who are sharing my stuff out there. I mean, gosh, just thank you so much. Anyways, I'm gonna get off of here because I talk too much, but I will talk to you guys soon.